You know, thousands of business books get published every single year, and they all promise the secret to success. But what if the real path to building an empire, what if it could be boiled down to just a handful of truly game-changing ideas? Well, today, we're unlocking that playbook. We're pulling out the core lessons from the books that actually move the needle. Let's get into it.
And that's really the truth, isn't it? This isn't about collecting books to look smart. It's about finding those powerful, earth-shattering ideas that separate the legends from the wannabes. Together, we're going to dig in and find the principles that really build empires.
So, before you ever sell a product, before you write a single line of your business plan, the real work has to begin. And it starts inside your own head. It's a psychological shift, and it dictates absolutely everything that comes after. The foundation of any empire is built in the mind first.
Okay, so this comes down to a fundamental split in how people think, based on the work of psychologist Carol Dweck. On one side, you've got the fixed mindset. This is the belief that your talents are just set in stone. You're either good at sales or you're not. On the other side, you have the growth mindset, and this is the belief that anything, and I mean anything, can be learned if you put in the work.
And here's the crazy part. The entire bridge between these two worlds, it's built with just one tiny three-letter word, yet. Think about it. I'm not good at marketing becomes I'm not good at marketing yet. I can't figure this out becomes I can't figure this out yet. All of a sudden, a roadblock isn't a wall anymore. It's just a temporary hurdle you haven't cleared yet.
All right, so once you've got that mindset dialed in, we can move from the internal stuff to the external stuff, to actually building the structure of your company. This is about creating a machine, something that can run and grow whether you're physically there or not. We're always told that we need to look big and polished right from day one. But what's so fascinating is that the real power, especially at the start, is in just being real. Being a little scrappy, filming on your phone, having a website that isn't perfect. That's not a weakness. That's a magnet. It builds trust and connects with people way better than some slick corporate facade ever could. Now this is the fatal trap that gets almost every new entrepreneur. Michael Gerber calls it the E-myth. It's this completely wrong assumption that just because you're a great baker, you'll be great at running a bakery. But the reality? You just end up working in the business, baking, cleaning, taking orders, and you never have time to work on the business, which is building the systems that let it grow beyond you.
So how do you escape that trap? It's actually a pretty straightforward three-step process. First, you document every important process, even the small stuff. Second, you delegate that documented task to somebody else. And finally, you build and tweak the system around it so it can eventually run itself. This is how you go from being an employee at your own company to being its architect. Okay, so you're building the machine. Now it needs fuel. And that fuel comes from two key ideas that let a business just explode with growth, totally breaking that link between how many hours you work and how much money you make. This idea from Naval Ravikant is an absolute game changer. See, most people trade their time directly for money, but that's a trap. There's a hard limit on how much you can earn. The real path to wealth is through leverage. And today, the most powerful kinds are permissionless. You don't need anyone's okay to write code or create media. And once you do, those things can work for you 24/7, reaching millions while you sleep. This forces you to make a huge mental shift. You have to stop asking, how can I work more hours, and start asking, how can I use things like code or media or capital to multiply the output of every single hour I do work? That, right there, is the secret to nonlinear growth. Here's a hard truth from Alex Hormozy. Tons of businesses fail not because their product is bad, but their offer is weak. Your product is just the thing you sell, but your offer, that's the whole package. The price, the payment terms, the money-back guarantee, the exclusive bonuses. A killer offer can make a pretty good product totally irresistible, and a bad offer can make an amazing product completely invisible. Okay, so you've got leverage and a killer offer. The next stage of growth can really begin. This is all about expanding beyond what you can do alone. It means bringing on the right people and carving out a spot in the market that is uniquely yours. There's this fear a lot of founders have, right? A fear of hiring people who might actually be smarter or more talented than them. But that's thinking like an employee, not a leader. Your job isn't to be the best person playing every instrument. Your job is to be the conductor who brings an entire orchestra of world-class experts together to create something beautiful that you could never, ever produce on your own. Peter Thiel says that most businesses live right here, in this world of going from 1 to N. They basically see something that's already working and they just create a slightly different version of it.
But this is the world of brutal competition, where margins get squeezed and everyone's fighting for the same customers. But the real world-changing value, that gets created over here. Going from 0 to 1 means creating something that literally did not exist before. It's invention, not just another iteration. This is how you escape competition entirely, because you've created a category of one. The question shifts from, how can I be better, to what can I build that nobody else is even thinking about? And finally, we get to the deepest layer of building an empire. This is about understanding the subtle, unspoken rules of the long game, the principles of consistency, knowledge, and even power that are always working just beneath the surface. Look, the secret to huge success is never one giant leap. It's what's called the slight edge. It's the tiny, simple, daily disciplines that are really easy to do, but are also really easy not to do. Reading 10 pages a day doesn't feel like a big deal, but do that for 10 years, you'll have an advantage that is impossible to compete with. Success is just the sum of all those tiny choices. Think you need a fancy, expensive MBA to understand how business works? You really don't. As Josh Kaufman breaks it down, all business, whether it's a corner coffee shop or a giant corporation, just comes down to these 5 things. You create value, you market it, you sell it, you deliver it, and you manage the finances. If you can understand how these 5 things work together, you know more than enough to build something incredible. Now, this next idea, it can be a little controversial. Robert Greene's 48 Laws of Power makes it clear that underneath the surface of hard work and merit, there are these unspoken dynamics of influence and strategy always at play. Now, you don't have to use these laws yourself, but you absolutely have to be aware of them. It's essential for protecting yourself and just for navigating the complex human side of any business.
So we end here. This whole journey, from mindset to systems to scale to mastery, it's a powerful playbook for creating something that works for you. But the real question you have to ask yourself is this: are you consciously using these tools to build your vision? Or are you accidentally getting trapped inside the very machine you created? The choice, ultimately, is yours.